Hey, what is going on, YouTube? Ron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize from the brief hiatus from my regular videos. Of course, if you guys saw me on stream, and you could probably still hear it in my voice, I got COVID, summer cold, or the flu or something here, and yeah, I haven't been sick in such a long time. It kind of reminded me why I don't like to be sick in the first place. So make sure you guys go out there, get your exercise, sunshine, all that good stuff. But anyway, we are back with an absolute heater of a video. You can see that this is not me. This is Mr. Beast Tex here, a longtime viewer, friend, and supporter of the channel. And he actually got the Halland XP record. Now, of course, I want to add a little bit of a disclaimer to this video. With the recent rework to carriers, there have been some massive, and I mean massive, XP and even damage totals that we have been seeing. I know people have been posting screenshots of 99 to 100 planes shot down, and I don't think Wargaming reworked the XP format to accommodate for that plane total. So, kind of take these records with a grain of salt. However, records are meant to be broken, and if this is a new feature in the game, everyone now has the same opportunities to set those records. Now, of course, a video like this usually ends up as my Friday feature. However, as I just mentioned, we weren't feeling the best this past week. But regardless of that, make sure you guys are in my Discord. That is where I choose a lot of these clips, and that is where Beast told me, he's like, hey, I got the XP record for the Halland. So make sure you guys check out his channel, and of course, make sure you guys are in my Discord. I'm going to leave a little video tutorial of where to submit your clips, in what section, and how to do so. And then make sure you tag me. Sometimes, I've got a lot going on in my life. Make sure you tag me like, hey, I got this excellent replay, etc. Also, we might be choosing some different clips. I've chose things for YouTube Shorts, but that is where you're going to want to go ahead and do that. But anywho, guys, let's go ahead and get down to the game we have right here in front of us. A fantastic replay from Beast. So right off the bat, Beast actually spawned in the middle here, and he decided to play the alpha side, which I can understand. However, I would want to make sure I control Bravo a little bit, and he's actually doing that. He went into A to support his teammate in A. He activated his defensive AA fire, got a few plane eliminations, and just pay attention to the plane eliminations. They come very easily as he gets another one. You hear me often preach play the side you spawn on. However, on Crash Zone Alpha, Greece, and there's a few other maps, unless you have great team support or the ideal ship to do so, you cannot. For example, if Beast would have ran into this Kaaba, yes, he would probably out-conceal him. However, that Kaaba, in addition with a carrier and potentially a Mino, and there was also a Columbo, would have absolutely abused him. And the Halland, while being an excellent AA platform and torpedo boat, does not have the best guns or the best survivability. With that being said, I think you're going to see a lot more Hallands in battle at Legendary tier. This ship was tailor-made to play against aircraft carriers, and despite it not having smoke, it still has a lot of attributes. It's relatively maneuverable, and of course with that defensive AA consumable and a very strong AA rating, you can easily defend against carriers and eliminate a good majority of their planes. Unfortunately, with the carrier rework, carriers can still just print a good amount of them. I think it's a little more balanced now. However, it's just, again, not something I would have done if I were on the balancing department.
I hit one. Yeah, I hit one.
And there we have it, folks. After about 4 minutes of engagement, Beast Tex finally has himself his first torpedo hit and his first points of damage. In the meantime, though, he has actually already impacted the game in a significant way. 15 planes shot down. He gets another torpedo hit there, and an assist in capture. On top of that, he is headed towards the enemy carrier, and he is simply going to waste this carrier's time if the carrier decides to attack him. Not only that, with the new spotting mechanics, a lot of the Reds are potentially clueless that Beast is right here. The plane icon now does not indicate that you are spotted for the rest of the enemy team. I think that is kind of a poor way to implement team play, as we've discussed in the past, but again, I'm not going to spend this video harping on poor development strategies from Wargaming. We all know they're in place. But here is where the fun begins. Now, I don't necessarily recommend taking your destroyer and going immediately to the enemy flank. However, Beast got a cap on his way, distracted the enemies at Bravo, and now he has an excellent opportunity to absolutely decimate these broadside battleships and even get the enemy carrier. And while I don't recommend carrier sniping, it is now a viable strategy with how the spawning and concealment works. But there is a plethora of torpedo hits and a permanent flood on that Marco Polo. And guys, this is honestly where the pan-European destroyers are the most terrifying. Out here in open water with no true threats, a decent team to support them kind of in front of them, he has got access to all of these broadsides here, and with that quick reload of torpedoes, even if he doesn't connect all of them, if you get a flood, combination with a few gun hits and a fire, you are going to be having a bad day trying to counter this thing. Now, having said that, it is very easy to counter those destroyers who want to skip the objective and go on the flank. We all see it. We all know who they are. The Shimakaze players with double maxed out concealment who can't win a gunfight to save their lives. They have 10,000 games in the Shima. And honestly, boats like that with high concealment or battleships even are crutch ships. And a lot of players tend to rely on that instead of relying on situational awareness. However, Beast was spotted by the carrier, and the enemy ships took no evasive maneuvers or even interest in him, and now he has free run on this entire flank. So if you have the opportunity to counter it and you do nothing, you have no right to complain. Also, I want to bring up this engagement right here. You may be wondering why Beast is waiting to shoot. Well, a few of the other friendly ships were shooting at that Kaba. He takes a good broadside salvo while his torpedoes are already in the water. And a perfect combination there gets the quick elimination on that Kaba without Beast losing much health at all. And that is when Beast looks up and it basically becomes Christmas morning. The enemy carrier is directly in front of him, and there's not much that the Hakuryu is going to be able to do about it. This destroyer AA, despite it being a destroyer, is going to absolutely shred his planes. As you can see, he just got his clear skies, which has been changed to 40 planes, which was once 20, which is, again, part of the reason I think the XP is a little inflated with this rework. Beast decides to go guns hot here. You're going to be doing, semi-penetration damage to the sides and potential superstructure of enemy legendary carriers. However, you're not going to be doing much to the deck. As you see, he is getting a bunch of shatters here. So trying to set fires is going to be his main purpose. He gets one there, and just a trick if you are in this situation. Carriers have an automatic damage con that activates as soon as there is an incapacitation, a fire, whatever. Take a peek at the clock, whatever time is on the clock once you get that fire. Go ahead and subtract a minute, and that is when you can get another permanent fire or flood. Now, for most of this game, Beast has kind of been on his own little journey out here on the flank. However, if you're paying attention to the scoreboard, this is still a very close game. So if Beast can get the elimination on this carrier, not only will it give his team an advantage in terms of points, but it will also take some pressure off of the remaining surface ships, as that carrier can no longer focus them. And it looks like he's going to do that right here. He has a beautiful line of torpedoes. Of course, one of them is going to be a flood, right? Well, unfortunately not. I believe he was actually 1 or 2 seconds earlier. If we go back, he got that fire at around 6:58, and those torpedoes hit right around 5:59. So a hair too soon. However, he's going to be able to finish off this carrier with the broadside available. But that is why I always like to add in those little tips and tricks into my videos, so you guys, as the viewers, can become better players and give your team a better opportunity to win.
We've sunk an enemy aircraft carrier.
And with those final few salvos, Beast gets the elimination on the enemy CV and basically secured the win for his team. There are 3 enemy battleships remaining. However, with the inability to really catch a destroyer, it is going to be really difficult for the Reds to pull this one back. Now you may be looking at this damage total and, ribbons that Beast has achieved and wondering how he got the XP total. Like I mentioned earlier, I think part of it is due to the excess number of planes that Wargaming, for some reason, wants in the game, as Beast gets a few more as the dying breath of the carrier goes down with those 3 remaining planes. But on top of that, he did spot for his team. He also got an assistant capture. And as you can see here, he is moving his way to get another solo capture. And I should have made this a massive point a lot earlier in the video, as some people don't finish the video all the way through. So if you do, you're an absolute Chad, and I love you. Also comment something wild and outlandish. I don't know, just comment something there. But the point I was trying to make is getting damage and kills, while it's important, is not as important as going after capture points and trying to get the win for your team. And in doing so, trying to get capture points and get the win for your team, you will end up getting more damage, more kills, etc. Of course, there are those games, we all get them, where the blue team seems like they have 12 IQ points combined. And by all means, in those games, go out and get your damage, get your kills, because no matter what you do, you're never going to win those games. But I would say in 70 to 80% of games, with a huge asterisk, because it feels like recently those games have been getting few and far between. But in most games, the actions you make have an impact on your outcome.
Someone just fired an
But enough of Aaron's nasally rants here while I'm still fighting off whatever remains of this infection here. Beast is getting his first solo cap. He got an assistant cap earlier while throwing a few long-range torpedoes on this Vermont, and then he's going to work his way over to the Charlie cap. You'll notice the Charlie cap actually hasn't been captured, and if the Reds made a little effort to try and get the capture points, just like we were talking about, they could have put themselves in a little bit more of an advantageous position towards the end of this game, regardless of whether or not their carrier went down and their destroyers went down. But there is that solo cap, and unfortunately he's actually going to miss out on the kill on this Vermont, which would have been his 5th. He does get the elimination on this remaining Burgoyne, and just an excellent game overall and the current XP record. So like I said earlier, make sure you guys check out Beast's channel. He's pretty good at streaming. He's got that crikey Australian accent. He's just a good friend of mine as well. And again, of course, I apologize for my nasally sounding narration in this one. Hopefully it'll clear up. But I'm going to be making a lot of videos this week as I will be out of town once again. But let me know what you guys thought of this one. Was this deserving of the XP record? Do you think that XPs should be reduced according to how they were previously? I don't mind a little bump in XP, as it tends to teach players how to play better. If you're scoring high XP, you're probably, in most accords, doing something correct. Now, of course, I've seen players do absolutely nothing, get 2K because they were kind of focused by the carrier, but again, that's probably for another video as this one finishes out here. So, love you guys. Have a great week. I'm out. Peace.
Oh, you actually got a drop on it. Yeah, it's dead to torps. Oh no, blood. Yeah. Not even high cal. I got 160k. No high cal. Another grouse game. I just got the new XP record. New XP record in the Halland.